Good evening. We are
What?
Hello? Oh. Hello? All right. My bad.
Thank you. Good evening. We are here for a Shac meeting, February 15th, 5:30 p.m., well, a little past 5:30 p.m., 2024. If you look at the beginning of our agenda, we're going to start with good things. That's something, an initiative that we are implementing across the district, trying to start every meeting off with good things that are happening. I will start off a little bit. I am very honored that I've been able to be with this district 10 years already, and it seems like I keep learning new things, and I keep meeting great, interesting people, and I keep finding new ways that we can help kids, and that's why we are all here to help kids. Somebody else want to say something good that's happened to them?
I had my third child is in this school. My other two graduated, first went to college, did very well. Another kid got straight to military, doing very well. He's airborne, and they're only drinking guys. So I'm kind of pretty happy with John. My family, my husband, he was a captain of a swimming team. Are they joking? So
When there used to be a swimming pool here.
when we still have swimming pool, yeah, but good things about school.
That's wonderful.
So thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
I got to teach English this week. I had a teacher that was out, and sub was there, but I went in to assist, and it felt good to be back in the classroom. Just fell naturally right back into it, and it was a wonderful feeling to connect with the kids in the classroom as opposed to just sitting in the hallway or in different situations if they're in trouble. So it felt good to be back in the classroom.
That's good.
It felt good.
It always feels good to connect with the kids again.
Yes.
Anybody else? Okay, well, we're going to move on. If you look at the next thing in our agenda, it says committee member selection. We are required to have at least a majority of parents on the committee. We already have 2 parents that were nominated and voted upon last time. We do need at least 1 more parent. Tatiana, is this something that you are planning to come to these meetings in the future? Or?
I'm very curious. I just want to find out. It shouldn't be like any conflict, right? With my work, like if I'm an appraiser.
There is no conflict with your work. The only requirements are, number 1, that you are a parent of a child in the district, and number 2, that you are not an employee of the district right now.
Those so qualified.
And if you're interested, we do have 1 more Shac meeting on May the 9th as well too. May the 9th at 5:30 p.m.
The topic resonated with me, so that's
Wonderful.
what there.
Well, do I have a nomination to,
Oh, nominate her.
okay. There's a nomination on the floor for Tatiana to be a parent member of the committee. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
I'm wondering, is this legal? Can we be voting when it's not a legal meeting? I'm just confused on that part. I just don't know if we can make decisions if it's not a legal meeting.
Okay, and your thought is, why is your thought that it's not a legal meeting?
Well, if it's not a legal TEA Shac meeting, can decisions be made during a non-legal meeting? That's all I want to know.
Okay, what is your contention that it's not a legal?
Well, the last
Yeah.
meeting
Close the door,
was,
read it.
Hey, man. Like I explained in the last time I was here, it was posted within, the legal timeframe of, 72 hours or something like that. It also didn't come with an agenda of what the subjects were supposed to be spoken about, so the public knows what the meeting is about. Those were the reasons why last meeting was legal. And it's pretty much the same for this one. Not sure if it was posted on a time frame, but there was no subject to this meeting. There was no agenda posted where they're legally supposed to be posted, which is in every campus in the district. So I just don't know if these decisions are being made. Are they even legal decisions?
Are they,
Whether they be the member selection, the committee officer elections, voting to bring forth curriculum to the board, is it legal to do that if it wasn't legal
Well,
to begin with?
bringing curriculum to the board, there's no need this year because the curriculum was already adopted,
But I'm
so
just
that,
saying, for future reference, I mean, is any of this allowed? Because I know all of last year there was not one legal meeting.
and was it the same
Same
issues last year?
Same issues, yeah. So I just, if we're voting on stuff here, is it legal? Or are you just checking a box, you know what I mean, to get things done?
Well, that's something that I'll look into.
You said that last time. Did you find out?
No, I don't have an answer.
Okay. She's fine to be a committee member, that's fine with me, I would vote yes, but I'm just wondering if any of this legal. since
But we
the
posted
meeting-
it in all our campuses. We did post it.
Per the TEA law, they didn't post it, correctly. You can have a flyer and say, hey, we're having a meeting, but the public needs to know what the meeting's about, that's written in TEA law. There has to be a subject matter attached to the announcement of the meeting, and it has to be posted at every campus in the district where a parent can see, being on the campus that's probably just outside. They need to be able to see either on the window or looking into that office area because, we're not allowed on campus anymore. So it needs to be posted within plain view, and.
So,
bulletin board.
so that particular agenda was not posted, the meeting announcement was posted in place at every campus where it could be seen, but the agenda was not posted. Sorry.
Correct, or the subject matter or anything. I don't think it said agenda on that law.
Okay,
It said
but
subject
yes,
matter of the meeting.
That was taking place at every single campus 1 week at a time.
What, the agenda was posted? at?
No, the subject of the meeting was posted, that it was for the Student Health Advisory Council.
Oh, I have pictures that say otherwise, so.
Okay. Well, I'll be happy to discuss that with you after the meeting.
It's the same thing that's posted online, just that.
Okay.
Nothing else attached to it, no agendas, no subject matters. I didn't even know having a social emotional learning presentation or not. And then there was a robocall that went out. I'm not on that robocall anymore, but, it's not difficult to hold a legal meeting.
Thank
Talk
you.
about it through the telephone. So
Okay.
that's how.
Okay, thank you. Concerns noted. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed?
I'm opposed to that decision.
Okay. Okay, so we're going to move on to the next item, which is selection of officers. We already have a president and a vice president, chair and a vice chair. We need a secretary that is a parent, and we have one parent here. Do I have any nominations for secretary? I will nominate Tatiana. Do I hear a second?
Ms. Tatiana, are you okay being secretary? What are responsibilities? Good question.
Take notes. That's all, and then after me, collaborate at the meeting so that I can make sure that I get the minutes posted afterwards. All those in favor? Aye?
Aye.
All those opposed?
Must hold, so not just legal.
Okay, thank you. All right, let's move on. I'm going to give you some feedback on what we talked about last time. Last time you brought several suggestions. We kind of brainstormed ideas for how we could bring greater physical activity and greater social emotional support to our students, to the campuses. So I did meet with all the principals. They talked about the activities. Each of them has some type of physical activity on Fridays, on the Bright Bramer Fridays, where the kids are in either At the high school, they're allowed to participate in athletics. Same thing at the middle school, and then at the elementary schools, they have several different avenues where they have movement for the kids on those days where they can do it both inside and outside. You asked also about the social emotional, what's being done for that, and today I have Dr. Tracy Warren who's going to present a little bit on that as well. So without any further ado, we're going to move on to Dr. Warren's presentation. I think there's a clicker there.
Yes. Make it a little bit bigger for you to see. Okay.
Lunch.
Thank you.
All right, my name is Tracy Warren. I am the school psychologist here in Kingsville, and I wanted to talk a little bit about what social emotional learning is and how our district is providing this to our students. Basically, CASEL defines social emotional learning as the ability to help individuals develop their identities. It helps them with managing emotions. It teaches them how to formulate goals, personal and collective goals for the future. Teaches how to show empathy for others. Create those positive, supportive relationships, and make responsible and caring decisions. When we look at social emotional learning, they have decided that self-awareness, self-management, responsible decision-making, relationship skills, and social awareness are all key components that together collectively make up what social emotional learning should look like. And at the bottom, I found this quote by Dr. Jeffrey Little that I thought really resonated. It said, emotion and self-regulation skills are some of the core social emotional learning skills. Because when you can't manage your emotions, attention, or behavior, you will have problems staying calm and focused on learning. I've always believed that we should, before we do any academic learning, we need to take care of the emotional learning. Make sure that a student is in the right mind frame to learn. Therefore, social emotional learning is very, very important in all aspects of the school. There are some really great benefits to bringing social emotional lessons into the school system. There are hundreds of studies out there that show that students going anywhere from pre-K all the way up to their senior year in high school that get social emotional lessons will have a positive impact on their academic achievement. That student engagement improves, student academic test scores improve, and then even our attendance, our climate of the campus all improves with the implementation of SEL. So here's another quote that I found. Dr. Karen Burke said, intertwining social and emotional learning and academics advances the ability of our students to adapt to change with essential skills to effectively manage new challenges. And that's really what we want with our students. We want our students to be able to deal with challenges in a positive manner. And social emotional learning is going to do that for them. There are some laws that the state has enacted because they do see the importance of social emotional learning in the school system. These two come out of the 87th legislative session. House Bill 1525 says that school districts are allowed to use compensatory educational funding to pay for social emotional learning, to allow us to teach kids how to manage those emotions, how to build those positive relationships and positive decision making. So there is funding that we can use to purchase programs to support this. In addition, Senate Bill 123, excuse me, says that social emotional learning skills are required in the classroom through positive character traits and personal skills, everywhere between pre-kindergarten through 12th grade. So in the past, social emotional lessons were something that was great in theory, but now it's law that we must provide SEL character traits, self-management skills, those interpersonal skills to help our students become more productive and compliant individuals. In addition, our Texas Education Code 33.005 states that all school districts must have a comprehensive school counseling program, and that school counseling program needs to incorporate guidance curriculum, responsive services, individual planning, and system support. And if you remember back when y'all were in high school, there were guidance counselors, did a lot of paperwork, did a lot of schedule changes, but didn't do a lot of counseling, even though that was their title. Now, because of Senate Bill 179, all school counselors must track their daily expenditures. Everything that they do in a day has to be tracked, and they must show that at least 80% of their total work time was on duties of those 4 components. So the other duties, the non-counseling duties, cannot exceed more than 20% in a day. The majority of their time must be spent on that guidance curriculum, the individual planning, the responsive services, and the system supports. And the state, starting this year, is starting to do audits to look at data collection to see, is the counselor doing what they're supposed to be doing? So how do we do that? KISD is a Capturing Kids Heart district. Most people will hear Capturing Kids Heart and say, oh, okay, yes, that's for a positive school climate. But Capturing Kids Heart does so much more than just build a positive climate. Capturing Kids Heart does have lesson plans that are divided out per grade level, and depending on the topic, the monthly character trait, there's anywhere between 3 and 6 lessons per grade level. So it's very systematic on how it's done to reach each and every one of their character traits to where we are able to show that we're in compliance with what is recommended, because we have our Capturing Kids Hearts throughout the entire district. So like for February is kindness. Every campus should be doing some lessons and character building on what kindness is about. But Capturing Kids Heart is not the only thing that we're doing. We also have our Second Step program. Second Step is in place for our kindergarten through 5th graders across the board. And this is a curriculum that provides a variety of SEL skills that do scaffold to each grade level. So if you are in 2nd grade, you may be talking about managing emotions, but it looks very different than what the 4th graders are doing on their managing emotions lessons. Our classroom, our counselors are going into the classroom every other week to provide SEL on a classroom basis, and they're using the Second Step program. The Second Step program also has bully prevention and personal safety lessons that the counselors are able to provide to the students. And in talking with our school counselors, this is something that was started last year. They said they are truly seeing a huge difference in not only the climate of the school, but in behavior and discipline, because the students are learning those skills that help them make positive decisions. Our secondary campuses do have Zello. Zello is a great tool, a great curriculum that we're using to help them make personal choices for college, career, and military readiness. And part of Zello also has those character ed built into it. So there is a component of SEL with our Zello curriculum for our secondary students. Our school counselors also have the ability to provide small groups. Small groups are not done just campus-wide. This is a select group of students will be invited to attend a small group. Most of the small groups are running between 5 to 6 weeks at one time. And with the school counselor is able to see any student as needed because that's just something that is provided by the district. However, with the small groups, we do get parent permission for involvement in the small groups first. The small groups will have different type of themes, whether it may be friendship groups, divorce groups, study groups. There's a bunch of different groups that our school counselors are providing small groups for our students. And another thing that our school counselors are doing is lunch bunch. And this is a very, very structured small group that is taking place during lunchtime, where a student will be selected to participate, like I said, 5 or 6 sessions. And once a week, instead of going into the cafeteria and eating with their peers, they will gather their tray and then join the counselor to have basically a working lunch. They get to eat while they're working on SEL lessons. A lot of this works on those social, emotional, and behavioral skills, and it really teaches some coping skills for our students. Counselors also have the opportunity to provide a counselor's corner. This is something that they're doing in the cafeteria. This is a non-structured manner to disseminate different SEL information. Maybe they'll be set up in the corner and they're handing out Red Ribbon Week information, or they're handing out information during College and Career Week on different colleges. But it's very non-structured. As students are going through the cafeteria, they have the opportunity to visit with the counselor. And then, of course, our counselors do have the ability to provide individual counseling. It's important to understand that there is a huge difference between the therapy that a child could get in the community versus individual counseling that they could get through the school. The school is a very short-term type support, and it works on relationship building. It works on home issues, self-esteem building, anger, study skills, even attendance. When I was a school counselor, I would have attendance meetings with kiddos, not because they were in trouble. I was never the disciplinarian. It was my job to support and encourage and help them find a way to make things better. How can we support the students? So our school counselors do have the ability to meet those SEL needs through individual counseling. And then, of course, we also have community collaboration. KISD counselors are working really close with a variety of different community members and organizations to add those SEL supports. We work with Behavioral Health Solutions, Child Protective Services, Children's Advocacy Center of South Texas, Coastal Bend Wellness Foundation, Coastal Plains MHMAR, and the Purple Door. And depending on the campus will depend on who's coming in. Some of these will only come to specific campuses. Some of these come in on an as-needed basis, and some of these will actually come in and provide curriculum themselves that they'll meet with a grade level for a certain amount of time and provide added support. So we have a lot of community involvement with our community partners. This last quote, couldn't figure out who said it, but I really liked it. It says, "Our emotions need to be as educated as our intellect. It's important to know how to feel, how to respond, and how to let life in so it can touch you." Any questions?
I got a couple.
Okay.
Talking about curriculum.
Yes, ma'am.
Social, emotional curriculum is health, am I right? Or is that dumped into a separate category?
Depends on the district. Some districts will put social emotional curriculum in with health and PE. Some people will leave it with the counselors.
Okay, and what is KIC?
Right now, it's with the counselors.
So there's some sort of separation with curriculum. So it doesn't need to go through the student health advisory or the board of trustees.
These are all curriculum that's been in place for a while. It's not everything I presented today, nothing is new.
So this is along with the board of trustees vote curriculum or no?
So the Student Health Advisory Council makes recommendations. This is not a course curriculum for a particular subject.
Okay, because she did say that some of those groups come in and provide.
These are more like supplementary materials.
And are they looked at by a committee or anyone before being provided to
Yes,
child?
yes. The last one that just was approved went through the school board before they were able to come in, yes.
Okay, because I saw that was only one book. It was literally one book. So if somebody's coming in from an outside source with a curriculum, that would be a different book or curriculum.
I'm not sure which book.
I saw and approved the last curriculum. It was a book. That was all it was. I don't even think it's been ordered or purchased or anything like that. So if somebody from the outside is coming in with curriculum, who's seen it, who's approved it, and I mean, as a parent, I would want to know what's in that curriculum. I also want to know when counselors go into the classrooms to provide counseling as a group, is my child allowed to opt out? And should parents be notified on what subject we're talking about when it comes to mental health services? So there's those gray areas I'm bringing up, like, because I don't know. When my child was in school, I had no idea what was being talked about in these classes. My child's too young to communicate what was said, and I've asked for that curriculum. It was never provided by the school district. So I filed a grievance against that, and it's been sitting at the district for 10 months now. So yeah, I'm just worried about this intertwining of people coming from outside with a curriculum that hasn't been vetted or approved by.
We have had 2 memorandums of understanding approved by the board this year. One by,
You bring it back, let's see the list.
yes, it was on the list over there. Can you scroll back?
Is there a copy, so since there is a social emotional curriculum, is there a copy of it somewhere that we can read, or how does that work?
Dr. Warren, is there a copy of the social?
Yes,
emotional-
for second step, it's all online, yes.
Okay, and what about, I was very much interested about the CKH, the Capture Kids Heart, and
Yes.
like it says February kindness, March is courage. How is it working here? Like, is it like a signs posted? I mean, it sounds like a fantastic idea. I'm just curious to see how is it implemented in action.
Each campus is different on how they present, and we do have 2 administrators.
We do use it on, I am administrator for 2 campuses,
Okay.
Care Academy and the DAP, and we use Capturing Kids Heart very faithfully. They're a combination of strategies and techniques to work with our students, like greeting them at the door every day and making sure they feel welcome. Making sure that we listen to what they bring with them and their stories. Also developing some structure. We develop a social contract with them so that they know the expectations of the campus. And it's a social contract that's been developed together.
Okay.
It's not a top-down, list of rules or things like that. It's a social contract as to how we're going to treat each other in our own campus, in our own atmosphere.
It's more like a service being provided with Capturing Kids Hearts, but everything else that is stated that they have a curriculum for, where they go in and tell kids about, that's separated as a learning opportunities or subject matter that may be sensitive to the public.
Okay. Well, the only thing I want to mention, this is first year where my youngest child doing like the Monday through Thursday and Friday is day, and she's been coming loyally to every Friday. I mean, she learned how to crochet, she learned how to do the cooking, and she goes the go painting somewhere. She made a painting and it went to Dallas. So, I mean, the experience has been positive, and she's motivated. Right now she's building Eiffel Tower somewhere here. And I don't know what it is, but it was a big change. She came from Ricardo School District and it's motivated her. So whatever you guys doing, don't stop. Because that's what kind of, I wanted to see how it goes. She attends D&D club here. And the instructor at D&D is amazing, so keep supporting it. I mean, my kids, the older kids, play D&D. Robert and Dylan were in the chess club here, and they good steps. So I'm just learning. I barely put my pinky in the water with all of this what's going on. But amazing stuff. That's all what I want to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm just curious and I'm confused, that's all, but yeah.
Any other questions, comments for Dr. Warren?
I will tell you that I utilize it because I have a campus that has a lot of need, especially students, with a lot of issues. So I have used Coastal Plains a great deal. Have used Purple Door also too, because some of them are their clients as well because of the incidents they have in their lives. So they have been very helpful, to me. Even when we have CPS cases, the caseworkers come and visit the students. So they're a great support system.
Sometimes it's better for those people to go visit in a more secure environment like a school than at a home.
And we invite them to come into our schools and visit with our students, and we give them a private room to work with them.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Warren. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Ricky, can you get,
You what?
I see.
Okay. Are you looking for the presenter mug? It's, okay.
Okay. I'm going to present a little bit on student attendance. We originally had another presentation planned, but just this afternoon, there was an unavoidable conflict where that presenter wasn't able to make it. So I stepped in and wanted to bring some other information that I thought might be helpful to you. We heard in the last presentation about the social emotional component of educating students, and attendance is a part of it. Attendance is often an indicator of if there's poor attendance, that something is wrong either at home or something is wrong at school, one of the two. It could be at home where there's not structures in place. It could also be at school where there's problems where the child does not feel comfortable at school. And I wanted to show you a little bit of where we have come with attendance and what we are doing to try to promote student attendance and try to get at the causes of why students may not be attending. So this is the current enrollment as of January the 24th. As you can see, we have more kids at the high school than any other campus. And you see that each of the other campuses is anywhere from 300 to 525 students. This was the attendance last year, 89%. Attendance this year, 92%. Has raised 3 percentage points higher. There's a couple of, we've changed many things, but there's a couple of thoughts of what has happened. First of all, let me clarify that this year, the only school days that are actually counted for attendance and for ADA are Monday through Thursday, not Friday. We are required to have 75,600 minutes in the school year in order to get full funding from the state. Otherwise, we lose funding proportionate to the amount of minutes that we are under 75,600. So right now, Monday through Thursday, the way that they have done that is they have increased the school days. You notice that the school days are longer than they used to be before, and then they're shorter on Friday. So part of the thought is that Friday was a day where there were a lot of absences before. for several reasons. Number one was a lot of things that are going on with extracurricular activities at the school. Football games, volleyball, basketball games. Students are not there for one reason or another. And adults are not there a lot of times because they're going with the students on those trips. So part of the idea of creating this innovative system was to have less student absences, whether they're excused for school business or whether they're not excused for school business. It seems that students have realized that if they only have to be there for 4 days, for some reason, they make a greater effort to come. Monday attendance is up Monday through Thursday. Is Friday attendance lower? Yes, Friday attendance is about a third of what we have on normal school days. But then again, those Fridays are not required as part of the regular curriculum. They are used for either enrichment or for supporting students that need extra help on Fridays. And because of that, again, you have smaller class sizes on Fridays. You're able to get students a little bit extra help and hopefully able to get them a little bit more support in other areas as well too. So that's a little bit of where we've come and where we are right now. This is a breakdown at each campus. This is common where at the high school, it's not as high attendance as it is at the elementary or even at the middle schools. That's not unusual to KISD. But as you can see again, when you have high school kids, they don't need child care to stay at home. They can stay at home by themselves. So more opportunities to not come to school when they don't want to come to school. So let's talk about how that also affects funding for the district. Again, we are given funding. There's a basic allotment where every time a child comes to school, it's about $33 a day. Also, when they're absent, that's about $33 per child that is not coming to the district. So that affects how we can support kids in all manner of their development here at the school, not just academics, but also, again, their physical, their emotional, their social well-being as well too. When students are not coming to school, again, not only is it an indicator that something's wrong, but the district is less able to address those needs because they are getting less funding. Now, I was a teacher for 20 years before I became an administrator. And during that time, I realized how important it was for students to do well academically. But not only that, again, that's where I delved in. If a student wasn't at school, tried calling. If that didn't work, I went to the child's house and met with the parents. And then you're able to really get to the root of the problem. But again, attendance is a symptom of a cause that's underlining that you really need to investigate and find out. So I'll take any questions that you have on this presentation. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about.
I would like
Sure.
to say, I was over at Harold the other day, and they were celebrating that the fourth and fifth graders were at 100% attendance for that day. So I was impressed.
On which day was this?
That I can't remember.
But it wasn't a Friday, right?
No.
Okay. But like you said, Tatiana, on Fridays, even though not every child or parent takes advantage of that, the ones that do, that gives them opportunities that they normally wouldn't get because they're so strapped for minutes during the regular week that they don't have much time to provide those extra things, either enrichment or support as well too. So Dungeons and Dragons, I mean, some of these things, we all know that kids that are involved in any type of extracurricular activity, that encourages them to do better in academics. The students that are in band or athletics, those are the ones that they're coming to school. Those are the ones that are passing their classes for the most part, not 100%. But if a kid has a reason to come to school, if they're involved, then they're going to try hard. Okay, so looking forward, the next meeting is May the 9th, 5:30 PM, right here, same place, same time. We are planning to have presentations on the health curriculum, so also child nutrition, and something on safety as well too. Those are the presentations that are planned for in May the 9th.
Did you say nutrition, safety, and what else?
Nutrition, safety, and the health curriculum. Okay, well, thank all of you for coming tonight, really appreciate it. Again, there are extra fruit cups, please take one to go if you wish, and have a good night.
Thank you.